the first of many Salesforce release webinars by the Salesforce experts at Summa. The Spring 14 release is quickly approaching. Most of your orgs will be updated this week with all of the new features. My name is Amanda O'Keefe. I'm a technical consultant here at Summa. For the next 45 minutes, we'd like to share with you some of the highlights of the Spring 14 release that will benefit your business the most. Presenting today from Summa Salesforce mid-market teams and enterprise teams, we have Amanda Zinsky, the Senior Technical Consultant, Art Schrage, Senior Technical Consultant, and Kelsey Moran, an Associate Technical Consultant. Please feel free to ask questions throughout the presentation using the chat window. We will be answering some of them at the end of the presentation. There will also be a recording available on the website, and we will be in touch with you on how to access that. Also, be sure to answer the interactive poll questions that pop up on the screen before each presentation. It will help the consultants to present the most important information. Okay, so let's get started with that first poll question. And we'll give you a minute to answer. And you can see the results of the poll question on the screen. The majority of you have experience with the Salesforce One app.
Welcome. My name is Amanda Wazinski, and I'm a Salesforce consultant on the Salesforce team here at Summa. And that's great news that many of you have already downloaded the Salesforce One app. I'm going to start my presentation today by talking about Salesforce One and the announcement. This was first announced at Dreamforce this past November and was really a big part of the Dreamforce presentations and announcements this year. So this really was released prior to this upcoming release, even though there's some new functionality coming out. We did want to take some time to touch on it. So what exactly is what is Salesforce One and what does it mean? There's pre-existing website technology versus a custom website. So with Salesforce.com and Salesforce One, you're able to handle user logins. You're very easily able to add fields and functionality. Many of you are used to developing in Salesforce, and the Salesforce One experience really works exactly the same. There's minimal investment required. You already have your Salesforce org, and you can just use it to create great apps on mobile devices. So the alternative is a custom website where you have all your login and features have to be designed and custom built. You do have complete control of the user experience, but there's a much greater investment of time and money required. So Salesforce One, it really takes your pre-existing website technology and adds mobile to that experience. So you're now able to handle your user logins. You can add your fields and functionality very similar to how you currently work in Salesforce as an admin. You can default your user experience just to the Salesforce One mobile app, and at minimal investment, you do not even need to have a developer. So how it's improved. Now you have access to all objects, all customizations in Visualforce, all custom apps, all App Exchange apps. Changes are pushed to the device and push notifications. This is definitely something new that is now available with Salesforce One. You can create a mobile experience for each individual user profile. There's something that you'll see on the Salesforce objects. It's a type of page layout called a compact layout. And this is where you're setting up your mobile user experience by adjusting these layouts. You can also enable publisher actions to create tasks, log calls, and do custom actions. So these really just show up as an icon on the phone now. It's a really great experience. And then you can also have the option to deploy visual workflow with Salesforce One as well. So this is one of my very favorite parts of the new release, Salesforce A. I'm not sure if any of you have already installed it on your phone, but as a Salesforce administrator, you now have the ability to work very efficiently from your mobile device. You can reset passwords, you're able to lock or unlock users, to monitor usage. You can even read the release notes on your mobile now with Salesforce A. great feature. And you have the ability for maintenance updates as well. So action items for Salesforce One. Everyone would want to review their mobile strategy, review their compact layouts, go through mobile scenarios, have some training for the mobile app, and download Salesforce A. As you want to explore deeper, you can explore integration with other systems, and you can look to socialize the experience, make it a little bit more social. If there's one thing on this list to do if you don't really know how to get started with Salesforce One, I recommend that you would go through and really review your compact layouts. Work with your users, have them bring their mobile devices, whatever they may be. Take a look and make sure that your compact layouts are working for the existing mobile devices, and that's a great first step, now and with the new release. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about this morning were some analytics enhancements, and really excited. Work a lot with reports in Salesforce, as I'm sure many of you do. Some of the stuff that we're taking a look at and I wanted to speak to today were, you now have the ability to have floating report headers for summary and matrix reports. There's flexible sorting options that allow users to sort report results by different fields other than just the group by field. You can export reports without footers. You can hide report types. On dashboards, you now have the ability to include percentages in tables and metrics, which was something that you couldn't do before. And there's a new permissions change where prior to, in order to modify dashboards, you needed to have view all data permissions. That's no longer needed. So just wanted to look at a few examples relating to the analytics. You can see here how you're able to sort the data in a grouping by any summarized field or a custom summary field. Just some screenshots showing you examples of how you would do this in Salesforce. I think that this might be my most favorite part of the analytics improvements right here. So if you are used to working in Excel, you have the ability to freeze panes. And so now you have what Salesforce calls floating report headers that are now available to you. So this is a great addition in this new release. And I'm sure many of you with large orgs and a lot of custom report types wish that you had the ability to be able to hide them, because it does get to be cumbersome if there's many that you're not using. So all you need to do here is just check this box so that you're able to hide report types, and that'll really streamline your experience for your report writers. Then we have, this just shows the footers that are automatically included on exported reports. You now have the ability to remove those. And historical trending for cases is also new for this release. So you just need to enable it, and then you're able to use historical trending on cases to take a look at your historical data a little bit better.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. If you have any questions for Amanda, please put them in your chat window now, and we will get back to you. Some of the questions will be answered at the end of this presentation. Some will come to you in an email after the webinar is over. We have one more poll question. What tools are you currently using to import data? If you can answer that question.
Yeah, so it's showing up, excuse me, my name is Art Schrage. I'm a certified sales and service cloud consultant as well as a developer. And I'm going to be presenting the information on the data import enhancements. The poll is showing right now that we have almost 60% of you use Data Loader as a data loading tool, and 34% as the import wizard, and 5% Jitterbit. It's very interesting. It's nice to see that we have some advanced users there. So there are some exciting enhancements to the data import wizard in the web interface in Spring 14. I'm really excited to show them to you. It's pretty neat. In the past, as you can see on the screen, Salesforce has had 4 different import wizards: import accounts and contacts, import leads, import solutions, and then import custom objects. They've done a good job in this release of unifying that into a single data import wizard, a nice interface that is a good go-to where no matter what data you have to bring into Salesforce, you can just go here and get started. When you kick off the wizard by clicking on that link from the setup menu, the first thing you have to do, obviously, is to select which object you want to work with. And as you can see on the screen, there's a custom object tab or a standard object tab. You can access all the same stuff that you could with the standard data import wizard. In the second step, you can choose between adding new records, updating existing records, or both. You also have all the same features that were in the previous import wizards, the ability to control matching of records to existing, and also to have the options to run the workflow rules or not, which can come in very handy. Also, they've improved the CSV file upload. You can actually drag a CSV file onto the wizard to upload it. You can use CSVs from Outlook, from ACT, or from Gmail. Once you upload the file, then you work on the field mapping. Salesforce will automatically map some of the fields for you. You can adjust them if they're incorrect. It'll map them by the field headers in your file that you uploaded. And with a click, you can map anything that's unmapped. And if you look on the right-hand side, you can see it even gives you examples of the data that's in your CSV file to help you match up columns that perhaps the column header doesn't have a very descriptive heading. So once you're done with all these settings, Salesforce presents a summary screen with all the selections you made, and it actually also goes through and reviews the data that's going to be imported to try to highlight any data errors that are expected to occur when you bring the data in. This can be really useful because it gives you a chance to, say if you have a lot of records, you can go back to the source file and fix any common or easy problems and reload it with error-free rather than with the data issues. And don't forget that you can post questions to the chat window. And that's it.
Thanks, Art. Okay, our next poll question is, do you currently use a custom object to handle orders? Up next, we have Kelsey Moran. She's going to be introducing the new object orders.
And as Amanda said, I'm Kelsey Moran. I'm an associate technical consultant. I just want to wait for a couple more people to answer the poll. Okay, and it's looking like a lot of people have no need for orders, but the 16% that have a custom object and also the 16% that do not but wish to track orders, this is for you. So to start, I want to hit on who the orders objects will benefit. So companies that will use orders are those companies who require functionality and visibility past the close of the sales opportunity process, such as companies who use an external order management or ERP system, as well as those companies who wish to integrate that external order management system with Salesforce.com. The great feature regarding the integration between an external system and Salesforce is the built-in place order REST API, which allows a bidirectional integration between the external system and Salesforce. So to sum up orders, the introduction of a new standard object does not happen often. So this is huge news for all of us Salesforce nerds out there. Sales orders is the first introduced since Chatter. Just as all other Salesforce objects can be customized, so can orders. All fields, record types, page layouts, etc. can be customized to meet specific and unique business requirements for continuing or creating a sale outside of an opportunity. So, an important distinguishing fact between the use case of opportunities versus orders is one, opportunities are important to track all information relating to the solicitation of a sale that requires a sales process from prospecting through the close of that sale. Where opportunities fall short is in handling everything after that sales process is completed, including service contracts, shipping, provisioning, etc., as well as those products that do not require a full sales process, such as single transaction sales, reduction orders, and repeat orders. So there are two different types of orders that can be created. The first are those orders created from contract records. Contract records are used to handle products that are services and require an associated contract. An example would be a cable and internet provider that requires customers to sign on for a 1 or 2 year period and requires visibility into that contract over that contract period. Second is an order created from an account. These account orders are created directly from the account record and are great for companies who sell products as a single transaction and do not require a sales process. A use case would be a clothing company who uses a shopping cart where customers select and purchase individual products that require nothing other than the customer inputting payment and ship information so that the company can fulfill the order. So let's step back and take a look at an order lifecycle and how the orders object and standard Salesforce capability can be used to streamline your order management process. The process begins when a customer makes a purchase or at the close of an opportunity. Order information can be compiled automatically from either an external shopping cart or pulled from a closed opportunity record. Leveraging the API can allow automatic creation of orders from closed opportunity and opportunity product information. Also, as discussed before, you can create orders manually from a contract or account record. Next is review and approval. This is an optional step, but gives you the ability to create an approval process around orders. Default statuses include draft and activated, but these statuses can be customized to meet business requirements. Once orders are complete and activated, they are ready to be provisioned or shipped. Shipping information is captured on the account and order records, and workflows can be created to trigger emails or to create tasks and activities for the appropriate group to prepare the order to be shipped or provisioned. Finally, once an order is closed, if a customer requests a change order or reduction in services, a reduction order can be created from the closed or fulfilled order and is automatically related to that original parent order. So now that we've given some background on the orders object, here are some things to consider if you are looking to enable this new orders object. First off, order management capabilities have been in high demand in the Salesforce community, so many orgs have created a custom order object, as we've seen about 16% of you from this group have, since there was no standard functionality within Salesforce. This begs the question, should I switch to the standard object or stick to my existing custom object? And the answer is, it depends. If your custom object is handling all the necessary business requirements for your company, then you may want to stick with it. The advantage of using the new standard object is it may allow more complex configuration and customization as it is now a Salesforce standard object. This is something you want to dig in deeper once you consider enabling the orders object. Another consideration is if you are currently using a third-party app that would be integrated with the order object, there may be issues with compatibility until the third-party company releases an update to that app to work with Spring 14 release. If this is a concern of yours, contact the company and ask if there will be any complications in compatibility with the new order standard object. Finally, as discussed earlier, you can create an order manually from an account or contract, or you can use the API to pull information from the opportunity and or opportunity products to create an order. However, there is currently no capability to manually create orders from an opportunity record. If you wish to relate an opportunity to an order, this can be done with a custom lookup relationship. And lastly, for those running professional edition, reduction order capabilities are not available. So just something to consider if you're planning on using orders. Oh, if you're now thinking to yourself, orders is for me, here's how you enable the new object in your org. Go to your setup menu by clicking your name in the top right corner, click setup, and scroll down and expand the customize section of setup and locate the orders object. Once in the orders section, click settings, and you'll see a couple options, checkboxes to enable orders. Check the enable orders checkbox, and orders is all set and enabled in your org. Next steps include adding the orders object to the account and or opportunity page layouts so you can access them, or I'm sorry, account or contract records. You can't yet create from opportunity records. To add to it, and then begin adding in custom fields to meet your business requirements. The last important step is to give access to the appropriate users for creating, editing, deleting, and cloning ordered records by setting up object permissions and sharing roles. That is all I have for now. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to discuss the new release features, and please feel free to ask any questions you have in the webinar chat window. Back to Amanda.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Okay, so we got a couple questions in the chat, and first up, we're going to ask Amanda to answer those. So one of our questions was, does the Salesforce A app have associated costs? The Salesforce A app is, there's no charge for it. You can just go out to Google Play or to the Apple Store and you just download it. It's a free app.
And the question, can it be used from an iPad?
Absolutely. Yeah, you can definitely use it from an iPad.
One more question for you, Amanda. Can you access all custom objects from Salesforce One?
Yeah, you can access all of the custom objects from Salesforce One. That's a great new feature and highly anticipated.
Thank you. If you have any other questions for Amanda for Salesforce One, then go ahead and put them in the chat window. If we don't get to your question today, we will write a Q&A email out to all the attendees so that you can see all the questions that were asked that weren't answered today. Next, what's the best way to locate records after you've loaded them?
There's a couple different ways to do that. Typically what you do when you load data into Salesforce is to include some type of reference field. Typically you use an external ID field, and you load that. Say you're loading an account from your ERP system. You would include the customer number as one of the fields in Salesforce that you load, and you can then use that as a flag or a tag later to export those specific records and locate them. You can use a Salesforce search to locate them within the web interface. The only thing to keep in mind with that is that sometimes the search index in Salesforce takes a few seconds or a couple minutes sometimes to update based on data that you've just loaded.
Okay, why would you want to turn off workflows during a data load?
The perfect example for that is if you have a workflow, say, that sends emails, and maybe you have a workflow set up every time a lead is inserted into Salesforce that it sends an email. If you turn off the workflow, that can prevent those emails from going. So if you're loading 200 leads for someone, you don't want them to be overwhelmed with different emails in a space of 5 minutes.
And one more question asked, I know this is a new product, but do you know if you're able to get an order from a contact perhaps in the future?
Okay, so the way the order object is set up, you can create orders to an account or to a contract, which makes sense from a keeping track of the data perspective. Like typically an order is placed for a company, or if you want to, sometimes you have a contract with a company to produce a certain amount of product, and you attach the order to that contract to show how much of that contract has been executed. But we have limited visibility so far of what's actually in that order, new orders object, but regardless, we could easily add, since it's a standard object, we can easily add lookup fields to contacts and use triggers or workflows or other methods to populate those. And I could see why a user might want to attach an order to a contact just to see who's the important person at the customer site that gave you the order. So that's definitely an easy customization. If it is even possible that there is standard functionality in there or coming that might be similar to like opportunity contacts or in that object. That's similar or related object.
Okay, thanks for that question. The last set of questions we have here is for Kelsey. They want to know, can you track activities on orders?
Yes, you can. So just like any other standard object, you can attach files, attach notes, track activities, anything you could on a standard object.
The last question, do sales orders work with the standard price book?
That is a very important question, and yes, they do. A big part of the sales orders is that they are directly integrated with the standard Salesforce price book. So just like you would add an opportunity product, you would add an order product to an order. And also, as I said, leveraging the API, you can push those opportunity information and opportunity products over to create an order product and order record. So if that is something that automation is something you desire, I would look into the place order REST API.
One more question for you, Kelsey. How would you integrate orders with an external system that generates POs?
So this is something that we also might need a little bit more information from the Salesforce side of things to figure out. But if there's capability in Salesforce, or if it works well enough with your business needs, you'd be able to pull that information through the API over to the orders object and the order records, and then create a quote. Or if you're trying to eliminate your external system with the PO, you can also integrate an app like Conga Composer, where you have a lot more functionality and a lot more flexibility in creating those POs. So it's an extra app, but it's all in one central place, and everything's handled within Salesforce.
Okay, thank you guys for all of your questions. Any questions that didn't get answered, we're definitely going to send out the answers to those questions as soon as we do a little bit more research. A couple things I wanted to let you guys know. The Spring 14 release exam for admins and developers is available April 24th, so you guys can get prepared for that. And the Summer 14 release has been adjusted to the June-July timeframe because of the extension on Spring 14. If willing, we will be having a Summer 14 presentation probably in July, we're thinking. So if you guys like this or have any feedback, definitely let us know for our next presentation. If you have any further questions, submit your question or comments to my email address, which is amanda.o'keefe@summa-tech.com. And thank you. We're going to end a little bit early, so you get 15 minutes back for your lunch break, guys. Thank you.